Which data classification methods are best for geographic maps? Imagine trying to understand a big puzzle with many pieces. Data classification methods help organize those pieces so the picture becomes clear. When making maps that show data like population or rainfall, choosing the right classification makes a big difference. It helps students see patterns and understand what the map is telling them. Data classification groups many data points into smaller, easier-to-see categories. Usually, maps use between 4 and 6 classes to keep things simple and clear. If there are too many classes, the map can look crowded and confusing. Too few and important details might be lost. The goal is to find a balance that shows the story behind the data without overwhelming viewers. One common method is equal interval classification. It divides the data range into equal parts. For example, if rainfall in a region ranges from 0 to 100 inches, each class might cover 25 inches. This method is easy to understand because each class is the same size. It works well when data is evenly spread out across the map. It is perfect for beginners and students because it makes the map look neat and consistent. Another method is quantile classification. It makes sure each category has about the same number of data points. If you have 100 cities and want to show their populations, each class might have 20 cities. This helps students see how many places fall into each group, especially when data is uneven. It is useful for teaching about data distribution because it highlights areas with more or fewer data points. Natural breaks classification, also called JENCS, groups data based on natural patterns or clusters. It looks for natural gaps in the data, like a group of cities with similar populations separated from others. This method shows real-world patterns better and makes the map more meaningful. It is a bit more complex but very effective for illustrating how data naturally forms groups. Standard deviation classification uses how much data varies from the average. It shows which areas are above or below the typical value. For example, it can highlight regions with much higher rainfall than average. This method is more advanced and helps students understand statistical ideas in geography. Geometrical interval classification creates classes using geometric progressions. It balances middle range values with extremes, making it good for data with wide ranges or skewed distributions. For example, population data that varies greatly between urban and rural areas can benefit from this method. For young students just learning map reading, equal interval and quantile methods are best because they are simple and easy to interpret. As students grow more comfortable, natural breaks and standard deviation can help them understand deeper patterns and data variation. Interactive tools that let students try different classification methods are very helpful. They can see how changing the way data is grouped affects the map's look and message. Encouraging students to think about why a certain classification method is used helps them understand that how data is grouped influences what the map shows. Keeping the number of classes small, around 4 to 6, helps maintain clarity and prevents confusion. In the end, the best classification methods for geographic maps in a classroom setting are those that make data patterns clear and easy to understand. Starting with simple methods like equal interval or quantile is a good idea. As students advance, exploring natural breaks and standard deviation adds more depth. Using interactive tools to experiment with these methods makes learning fun and helps students see how data visualization shapes the stories maps tell.